a very storied career. Bought a yoga studio in New Jersey. 6 years later, sold it for 5 times what you and your wife paid for it. Now helping owners of boutique fitness businesses prepare their business for sale and sell it. Helped over 70 owners exit so far. Did around 10 million in exits last year. We'll do 20 million this year, bringing in around $500,000 soon to hit 1 million with a team of 4. Very impressive. Loved your journey. Congratulations to you and your wife and the team on the growth.
The reality is you don't owe anybody anything. And the better you get at blocking off your own, it's like wearing blinders to some degree that you can like, okay, well, I'm gonna focus on 1, 2, and 3 this morning. Like I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna exercise, and I'm gonna do these 3 things. That's it.
Yeah.
We'll see what else happens tomorrow. It's kind of how I approach my day. It's like, what dumpster fire do I need to put out right now?
G'day and welcome to the Grow a Small Business Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Trewin. Each week, we speak with an owner who has grown a business with 5 to 30 team members to something bigger. Diving into their numbers and unearthing the pain they've experienced, we explore what they did to overcome each barrier and what they would do differently from day one. Let's get into it. Welcome, everyone. Today I'm interviewing Mitch McGinley from boutique fitness broker based in the gorgeous Barcelona in Spain. Thanks for your time today, Mitch.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Let's start with how we know each other. Devon from podcastguest.io sent us a few great guests and thought you'd be another good one to come on for us.
Yeah, he's been great. Honestly, been working with him for a little over a year, I think, at this point. And yeah, it just keeps introducing me to the best podcasts, and then I get to digest all of them and meet them. It's this honestly, it's like been a dream. So very grateful to be here.
Tell our audience a bit about your business, what it does and how it makes money.
It's kind of crazy, looking backwards. But for the most part, I help people sell their businesses. It's really that simple. I have a specialty in boutique fitness and health and wellness. So things like yoga studios and Pilates studios and spas, things like that. Sold all kinds of businesses, whether it's HVAC, plumbing, restaurant, hardware, done it all. But you know, after my first real entrepreneurial venture, which was owning our own yoga studio, I came to know and love that industry. And my wife and I did this together, and we've loved it. And it's an industry that generally, like the numbers aren't usually super sexy because it's a lifestyle business. Like people love to teach yoga or whatever, and at the same time it's wildly underserved.
Mm.
And so I found a wonderful home helping all of these businesses stay alive.
And so do you help them get ready for sale as well as the exit transaction itself?
I do, yeah. We help with everything from coaching and counseling years in advance. I spend most of my time trying to travel and speak and share the things I've learned. Um, and then we help people whatever phase they're at, whatever type of business that they have. It really doesn't matter. The all the pain points are consistent.
Yep.
So, if there's anything I've learned in the last 6 years of being a business broker, it's that doing deals and buying and selling businesses is very much the same. And yet it's always different. Like everything about every deal is a little bit different, but you're just trying to come up with solutions to problems and working out differences of opinions and helping everybody get across the finish line. 'Cause that's all anybody ever wants to do.
And I'm guessing a lot of people aren't prepared. The business isn't ready for sale, and there's a bit of work you have to do to help them get it in shape.
It depends. I mean, the really good ones are. I've been fortunate to work with a lot of the best consultants in this industry, and people who are great coaches and help prep in the sense of like making sure your financials are in order and your processes and procedures and all your HR stuff. Like there are those types of owners out there,
Mm.
and they're wonderful, but also most people need some help. It's unless you've gone through it before, uh, it's a daunting prospect.
And do you just focus on Northern America or United States or any country?
No, fortunately, we've been able to grow. As you mentioned, I'm living in Spain right now. I've helped people in Europe, and I've got a really good friend in Australia actually who does something similar that I love to refer people to. His name's Cam Prosser, if anybody's listening. Um, and I've helped people in Asia, and the world is just getting smaller, and the more time that I spend traveling, it's just getting small, and I just need to keep learning. It's hard to learn like the tax codes and the legal framework and all of that of each country, but uh, getting there, working on it.
Have you read any of John Morillow's books, Built to Sell, The Automatic Customer, and The Art of Selling Your Business?
Built to sell for
Yeah.
sure.
Great. Yeah, we had John on our
Awesome.
cast a couple of times, and we were talking about the stat. There's something like only 20% of businesses that are put on the market actually sell, because most owners don't know, how a business is valued, and they're going with a high figure in their mind, or the business isn't in good shape, ready for sale. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, and fortunately for us, our success ratio is around 80%.
That's great. Yeah.
And the difference is, we're the first people to set expectations with our clients. We're lucky to be in a position now where when we meet those people who have unrealistic ideas about what they should get just because they have a feeling, um, we're the first ones to say, I don't think this is a good fit. But if you want to have a serious conversation about selling your business, I'm happy to share everything I know
Mm.
in an effort to get you as much as humanly possible.
How did you start out?
It's kind of crazy. Doesn't make any sense if you ask 16-year-old me, but I went from restaurants to hotels, working in food and beverage in hotels, to then going to the front office of hotels, then to the finance part of hotels. Then I got an MBA and went to work with somebody who was flipping boutique hotels. And then we got the opportunity to buy our favorite yoga studio. And it was a dream that we always had. My wife's a phenomenal yoga teacher, among many other things. Her mom owned a boutique fitness business in New Jersey, just outside of New York, for 40 years. So they grew up with it, and that was a dream that we all shared. And so it was something that we had said to the owner of our favorite business. We're like, hey, if you ever want to sell, let us know. Like, no rush, no pressure, but like we would never open another business and compete with you. But if you're ever done, let us know. And it was 3 years. 3 years went by, and she called us and said, I want to sell and I want to sell to you. And the reality of the situation was that the business wasn't profitable. The gross revenue numbers were terrible. It was maybe breaking even, maybe, and we were able to double the revenue and make it comfortable six figures, and ended up selling it for five times what we bought it for, and we were really proud of that. And somewhere along the way, I got kind of bored, and I started doing some consulting work, and I got my foot in the door with a big software company called MindBody. And they started paying me to speak at these conferences and teach in their consulting program. And um, it was like helping the owners in this industry be better business people, because so many people are just, they get into business because they're passionate about offering what they want to offer, and that's beautiful. But they also have to learn about accounting and HR and insurance and all of those, taxes, all the things that we all It's annoying as can be, but like you have to. And so I started doing that about halfway through owning the studio. And, the more people I met, the more of an impact we got to make in this broader community. And, luckily when we were ready to sell, similar situation, it was someone I had been talking to for years. And I was able to say, I think we're finally ready. And we got the number that we wanted. And I've been helping people ever since. Done about seventy deals now for these types of businesses.
Just for yoga studios and Pilates, etc. Fitness.
Yeah.
Wow, 70. That's fantastic. With the first one that you bought and then sold for 5 times what you paid for it, what timeline? How long did that take? How long did you own it?
6 years.
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, and we had so many of the questions that, but a real pain point that I always like to share. The first time that we were approached about selling was 3 years in, and we had done really well, and we had an idea what number we wanted, and it was probably a little bit lofty, but we started having this conversation 3 years in. It was really exciting, and it dragged on and on, just talking to this one group of people. And in the middle of all of that, my wife, who is the star of our studio and the talent for sure, is pregnant with our second child and sick as can be,
Hmm.
like hospitalized multiple times.
Mm.
Bless her heart. She threw up the whole time. It was awful. And so she couldn't teach. And so she was out of commission. And at the same time, her father, who we're very, very, very close to, fell and broke his back.
Oh, jeez.
And so my wife is laid up and my father-in-law is laid up. And I'm trying to do everything I can to manage a 3-year-old, a pregnant wife, and a father-in-law with a broken back, my mother and I, mother-in-law and I, and we're like just doing everything that we can, but we weren't present in the business, and so in this moment, it didn't work out. Like it wasn't the right deal, it wasn't the right price, and it's because we were a little bit desperate
Mm.
in that moment because we were going through some shit.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the time to sell, is when you're going through some shit.
Mm.
You need to sell when everything's perfect. And so that's the lesson we learned. We fixed everything. We got it back to where we wanted it to be. We got the staff in place, numbers in place, and then we got what we wanted and cashed out.
And you've owned other businesses since then as well?
Yeah, so we've been able to invest in a number of these now because there's so many great operators out there who are looking to make acquisitions and roll things up, and um it's fun to be able to make bets at this point in my career.
And you started Boutique Fitness Broker in 2019, 6 years ago?
Did. Yeah.
And how
Right
old?
before COVID.
Yeah, before COVID. How old were you then?
19, I was fully 38. um yeah,
Yeah.
44 now. Yeah, so right before COVID, here's this new idea. Nobody's serving this industry, and all of a sudden this industry gets absolutely decimated
Mm.
by mandated closures. And so everyone in the world started reaching out. They're like, oh my God, I need to sell. And the reality is you can't sell a business that's closed.
No.
And there were a couple deals that were supposed to go through that March that like really hurt. I was young in my career. Like those were important dollars. And just like everybody during that time, it was a nightmare. We were all just trying to survive. But my name got out there like wildfire. And I helped everyone that I could. I've shared anything I could possibly share. and it's clearly panned out.
Mm. And do you have some key numbers you can share to illustrate the growth of the business?
Yeah, okay, so for my current business, my first year, I made $60,000 first year, and this past year I made a little over 500,
That's great. Yeah.
while bringing on, multiple people and um, doing fewer deals myself. Still did the most deals we've ever done this past year for the most money, and this year we'll break it again for sure.
What roughly value of deals last year and what you expect this year?
Last year was 10 million. Couple of big ones in there. There was a 4.5 at the end of last year and at the beginning of this year. But I honestly, this is ridiculous to say, and this will be the first time I say this, certainly on a podcast, but um, this is really, I think, the first real chance I have at making $1 million for myself this year.
Yeah. Great. So yeah, going to double the value this year to about 20 million. That's amazing. And what about the team, full-time equivalent team members? Started on your own, and where are you at now?
Starting my own, I'm trying to keep it as lean as I possibly can. The pain points of managing people are so clear to me. Um,
No, I've got the
just anything
t-shirt
I'm
out.
learning.
I got the t-shirt and the coffee mug. Don't worry on about people. Don't worry.
Yeah, people are the hardest. Always, and clients are hard too. Like, don't get me wrong. It's dude, when entrepreneurs are your clients, like they're all, you know, alpha people, no matter who they are. Like they're bosses.
Yep.
And they don't like being told bad news. And through this example this week, it's been really painful, but biggest listing we've ever had. It's really successful. We had a bunch of competition to buy it. It's a $5 million deal. And there's questions about the financials. The buyer and the lender are trying to tie together the P&Ls and the tax returns, and they can't. They don't match. And it needs explanation, and it needs a very clear, concise, understandable explanation. And the seller's just as defensive as can be.
They're taking it personal.
And yeah, and I understand it's gross. It's like having somebody comb through your underwear drawer. Nobody likes it, but you got to put your ego away and provide answers and do the work. It's like, yeah, you go through your P&L and show us everything you added back that you never showed anybody before.
Mm.
Manipulate spreadsheets, like you have to explain it. It's really that simple. So,
When was the moment you felt like you had succeeded?
I'm really fortunate. I'm um my number one bucket list trip was always to drive across southern France for a summer. I studied French when I was young. I loved it. Been to Paris a bunch of times, but I'd never been to like Provence and Nice and spent a summer drinking pink wine and eating cheese and bread and
It's beautiful down there, isn't it? Nice is the only Roman, is that Roman settled town? Is that right? Nice?
yeah, I mean there's remnants in other places for sure, but um I finally just got to do that trip this past month with my wife and my kids. We're living just south of Barcelona, and for the first time, we have a car and gotten confident enough to drive around here. Like it's a little bit different with the roundabouts and everything, but we took a 2 week road trip and drove through Provence and Montpellier and so many other places. And I had this like really emotional moment. I remember I was sitting with my family and I was just like, this has been number one on my bucket list for as long as I can remember, and here we are, and we're doing it, and it's perfect.
Mm.
even though it was so simple, like it wasn't nothing about it was like gaudy or fancy. It was just um, painting watercolors with uh, that was uh, I literally looked at my son and it was like this. I think this was my number one dream, and so I need to come up with some new dreams.
Well, as I said to you before we hit record, I think you're going to be wowed when you get to Annecy as well. It's 30 minutes south of Geneva, a beautiful part of France. I mean,
I can't wait. I can't wait.
what
The
does
only reason we didn't go there is because I wanted to spend a whole extra week there, and we didn't have that extra week.
Yeah. Good excuse to come back then, do it properly.
Yeah, I think we'll fly. Probably we'll fly to Geneva and then just pop over.
Yeah, and if you can fit it in as well, Chamonix is beautiful at any time of the year, skiing or in summer, trail, hiking is beautiful as well. What does success look like to you?
You know, my mom had a magnet on our fridge when I was growing up that said, "Success is not what your bank account says; it's how wonderful a human being your child is." And I've always really taken that to heart. I think that, especially in this day and age, growing up in the States and going through the political climate of the States in the last 30 years, the focus on money and profit has become so greedy that we've lost sight of the fact that like we're all humans. And there's so many people who don't see other people as humans and equals. Uh, for me in this moment, it's devastating. It's one of the reasons I don't want to be in the States right now. Yeah, I don't. It's honestly, it's. I want my kids to be kind,
Mm.
and I want them to be safe. And if those two things happen, then I think I will have been successful.
Number one thing you'd recommend to marketing a fast growing business?
Just be yourself. It's I of all the people in the world, like I've always wanted to please everyone. That's just my personality. Like I never want anyone to be mad at me, and it's a fuel effort.
And how did you fund your business?
Well, the first one we borrowed $50,000 from our in-laws.
Hmm.
Paid it back on time. Happy to say.
Yeah, good. Makes things
Um,
Christmas is a bit easier.
yeah, and have done a couple of things with them since then. It's like earned their trust, and we've worked together on a number of things. But it's you prove yourself by having an opinion, believing in something, doing your best, being willing to be wrong, and admit it,
Mm.
and then picking yourself up and going again. Be willing to be wrong. Okay.
Yep. Any mistakes still yet to be made, that's for sure.
Right?
If you were to start up today with plenty of funding, would you go into your industry?
Absolutely. Not sure I need it. I'm lucky in that sense. It's really, brokerage is always just making a percent of the deals that you're doing. And so the hardest part about being a broker is building your pipeline
Yeah, because it
and
must
and having
1 or 2 years on average to sell. Yeah.
yeah, I mean we normally tell people, from the moment that you hit go, like if you're really ready to go right now, usually takes 6 to 9 months on and these are relatively simple deals too.
Yeah. Right.
Um but we've certainly had some take years.
Yeah.
And as far as, giving advice, and there's people I've been giving advice for 6 or 7 years who still haven't listed. So
Hmm. Can you outline the most stressful point in your small business growth journey so our audience can learn from it?
the most stressful point had to be during COVID, while I just COVID was such a
Shit show.
how do you even
Hmm.
right? Like it's I think we blacked it out, truthfully. Like I'm not even sure I really remember it, but like I had 2 young toddlers. They were like 3 and 6. We're doing online school, and I'm trying to start a company, and my wife's teaching yoga classes online, and we're living with her parents
Mm.
because it just made way more sense to be all together during that time. But there was something so beautiful in that time too, that it was like, we cooked every meal together. We took turns. There was like such a consistent routine, to how we survived that, I think it's just a great reminder. It's like when shit gets really, really hard, it's like you resort to basics. It's okay. What are we eating for dinner? How are we gonna make it? Okay.
What area in business do you feel you've had to work on the most to add the greatest value?
Marketing. Marketing is always the hardest. Really, really difficult for me to talk about myself. Fairly introverted, quiet, calm, keep to myself. And so it's been hard for me to really open up and talk about myself and be open about my opinions. And even the older that I get, whether it's with my family or business or whatever, it's like just being a little bit more honest about what I think, at the risk of being wrong, is what continues to change for me right now.
What have you enjoyed the least about managing fast growth?
Uncertainty. And in my world, like, people freak out every day over all kinds of stuff, some warranted, some unwarranted. Um, but it's like every day there's the news. And so if you're watching the news, you're freaking out because there's something on there to freak out about. And then on top of that, you've got family and kids growing up, and it's a lot, all. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about this like we're, I think, very similar age. Our kids are the same age. It's
Got the same hair.
aging parents who
Mm.
who also need to be taken care of, and try these are your main earning years, and um, it's just a lot. It's really a lot. So becoming a little bit better about filtering what you allow in. For me personally, that not watching the news.
Yeah.
It's just a really simple one that, um, but not doom scrolling, and instead like getting outside and exercising and doing something nice for somebody you love, like making a difference in your community. Like those are the things that really matter. So trying to spend more time in real life and less time online.
What do you love most about growing a small business?
People. I love people.
Mm.
My
Psychology, isn't
first
it?
degree was in psychology, and
Yeah.
getting to know people, understanding how different people are. It's like I've had infinitely different types of clients and customers and employees, and um everybody's different, and then at the same time we're all pretty similar, and so I really love embracing the differences between people, while also recognizing the fact that we're not very different.
Mm. And what has been the biggest mindset shift for you in your small business growth journey?
Uh, well, I'll go with the current one at this moment. Is I actually never thought that I would grow this particular business to be more than me, but it feels like it's punching me in the face right now, telling me that it wants to be something that outlives me. Um, and so I'm trying to swallow that pill.
Well, there's a lot more people out there to help, and businesses. I read a headline the other month that something like 75 million businesses in the US will be put on the market in the next 10 years.
A lot of businesses.
Yeah.
A lot of great businesses.
Mm.
And specifically, like a lot of really great businesses, forgive me, with really old owners who aren't good at marketing.
Or technology, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they don't have good websites, they don't have social media presence, and you know, they've just been building it on their reputation, which is amazing. But to be able to buy a business like that and then add value, and increase the value of the business and then turn around and sell it. Like, there's so much of that that's going to be available. And so, I never want anyone to be an employee ever again. I want everyone to own a business. So much low hanging fruit.
The number one habit you think a small business owner needs to develop and maintain?
Disciplined. It's so easy to get sidetracked and go down a million rabbit holes a day and be like, I need to read 10 books and I need to work out for 3 hours and I need to, do X, Y, and Z and respond to a million emails and sales meeting requests. And, it's like the list goes on and on. And the reality is you don't owe anybody anything. And the better you get at blocking off your own, it's like wearing blinders to some degree that you can, like, okay, well, I'm gonna focus on 1, 2, and 3 this morning. Like, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna exercise, and I'm gonna do these 3 things. That's it.
Yep.
We'll see what else happens tomorrow. It's kind of how I approach my day. It's like, what dumpster fire do I need to put out right now? And prioritizing them.
Now you
My kid's sick, and you know, there's a flood at the business, and my employee called off because they're hungover. Like,
Mhm.
those were sort of like relative conversations that I was having all the time. And it's, those were all like normal things that just, when they pile up, it's send you over the edge.
Yeah. Now you've
You can't control it. So it's like, my kid's sick. Like, today, maybe I get an F as a parent and a business owner, but I'm going to show up again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do better.
Are you a small business owner who is ready to take your professional growth to the next level? Sign up to the Grow a Small Business Weekly newsletter. This is your go-to email every Friday and will take about 2 minutes to read. Join the Grow a Small Business community who, like you, are investing in their professional development. Each week, we curate valuable resources, whether it's expert advice, books, podcasts, industry insights, or actionable strategies. We've got you covered. Leave your email at growasmallbusiness.com/weekly. You would have hired a lot of people over your various businesses over the years. Can you talk to how you've added people to the team, some wins, mistakes, and advice for those listening?
Yeah, I mean, so many mistakes and so many good hires over the years. Um, I've always been a fan of the saying, hire slow and fire fast. It's like, uh, raking someone over the coals for months and months and months to make sure that they're the right person before you bring them on. Such a good idea. And then if you find out quickly that they're not the right person, just don't wait. And sometimes in this world, in this day and age, like, that's not good enough. Like, if you've got, I'm not an HR expert, but like, you've got whatever probationary period in some states where you're allowed to say, I don't think this is a good fit. And then after that period, like, it's impossible to fire them sometimes without opening yourself up to a lawsuit. And so, I don't know, I was a big fan of, like, be very, very patient when hiring people.
What are some of the things you recommend to building a sustainable and kick-ass culture to help with the growth?
Sustainable and kick-ass culture.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an oxymoron.
Take take the team out for drinks.
Mm.
Um, be yourself. Don't don't try to be one person at work, one person who's not. Um, I always felt like recognition was the best thing that I could ever give my staff, acknowledging their hard work and listening to their venting sessions and, you know, most of the time it's they just want you to listen.
Yep.
So if there's anything that I feel like I've always been a good listener. It's one of the hard things about going on podcasts. Like normally I'm asking the questions and I'm listening and I'm asking really personal questions like, about your money and your situation and all of that. And it's it's hard to be open in that way with your staff. Like I think most people want to have some privacy and but at the same time it's like life's too short. Like just be honest. If you're feeling something, say it, you know. Don't let it fester.
Tell it, excuse me, tell it when it, oh, goodness. Not getting over a cold. Tell the audience how you've handled balance.
Well, I've been lucky because I've always worked in yoga, and so
Yep.
literally going to work would mean being able to go take class and work on my balance. Um, but it's ridiculously hard,
Mm.
right? Like on every level. It's like I wake up in the morning and the first thing I see are all the emails I missed from the night before, and then I got to get the kids out the door to school, and then I had all this work to do, and then need to take care of my family, and it's not just my immediate family, but my extended family. And balance is really, really difficult. But I think it comes back to having healthy boundaries.
Mm.
There's only so much you can take on. And um unfortunately for me, like it's been, friendships a couple times that I chose to end because they didn't have healthy boundaries. It's someone who's taking up too much of your time and not giving you anything in return isn't sustainable. So you have to take care of yourself first.
Yep.
You have to stand up for yourself physically, spiritually, emotionally. And when you're in a good place, everyone around you will respond. I think.
How much professional development have you invested in yourself?
Never quit. It's I feel like I'm still young. I have no idea. Most people have these chapters that are like 4 or 5 years. I would say like it's normal to have like a college type of chapter. Um, and in each one we grow and we learn and we overcome new things. And then in the next one, we want the antithesis of that. Whatever it's like for me, it was I didn't want employees anymore. I wanted to be free and be able to travel the world and work with a phone and a computer. Um, and at the same time, like now my business has grown too much. Like I can't do that. And so I have to, and so it's just funny how life has a way of just doing the opposite things back and forth. I'm lucky. I'm old enough that I missed internet dating. Um, but it's my idea of what internet dating is like. It's like
Mm.
you're looking for whatever like your ex wasn't.
Mm. Have you had mentors or coaches along the way?
Everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah, there's no growth that comes without a mentor or coach. Um I've been really fortunate to have so many wonderful ones. Um, One of my favorite shout outs though is actually, and she's here right now, so I'm going to, is my mother-in-law. Um, just one of the most impressive business people I've ever met, just smart as could be. Um, and what's crazy, honestly, is she never went to college.
Mm.
She left Michigan at a young age, moved to New York. Her husband's famous radio personality. He's super successful. And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna start this like fitness business over here." Meanwhile, she's like literally like could be uh like an osteopathic surgeon. Like she knows everything about, anatomy and kinesiology. Like she's just been constantly studying herself this whole time. And she's been the mentor over the last 10 to 15 years, especially, going through having kids and
Mm.
um, being married and all of that, that she's been that anchor for us in the best possible way.
Do you have a board of directors or advisors?
I don't have a board of directors. I have a couple of advisors, and she's definitely one of them. My older brother is one as well. Um, he's an expert in ESOPs. If you want, he'd be another great person to talk to because he's like the best in the country at ESOPs.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of ESOPs for the audience, employee share ownership plans. And I did my first cast on ESOPs a bit over 5 years ago now with an Australian that's got one of the leading ESOPs platforms or systems here in Australia. And he was saying from memory, the productivity increases between 7 and 23%, I think, and retention of your team doubles from 5 years to almost 10. Yeah, ESOPs are a genius.
Who knew that if employees had ownership,
Yeah.
they would care more? Right? It's like that. It's such a simple statement, but that's the reality. It's like having ownership changes the way that you feel about the business. And so even for all the people out there who have never owned their own business, helping those people buy a business and then be their own boss for the first time is one of my favorite things to do. And the community gets to live on. The teachers keep their jobs, the clients get to keep taking class or exercise or whatever it is at the time that works in their schedule. It's like these communities are the anchors. They're our third place. Like whether it's there's home and work and then like your coffee shop and your gym. I think.
Have you read The Great Game of Business by Jack Stack?
No.
I'll send that through to you. Only way I found out about it was from a guest, or a couple of guests actually mentioned it years ago. And it's 1991, I think. And it's now in the top three of my favorite business books. Amazing story. There's three main parts to it. It's the best bonus program I've come across. Jack talks about. Um, he's known pretty much as the godfather of open book management, like to share your numbers with the team, but also educate them how to read a P&L. And he's also very
Yeah.
good on ESOPs as well. And it's a wonderful read. I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'd love to. Sounds perfect.
Perfect question for you, because we don't often ask this question unless someone has exited a business, which you have, and you also help people exit a business. So maybe tell the audience what's one piece of advice you'd give to the audience listening if they're thinking about exiting one day.
You're going to be disappointed. It'll still be worth it.
Yeah.
After you go through the whole process, which is an arduous process. It's an emotional roller coaster for probably close to a year. And the whole time people are just whittling away at everything. And it wears you out. And then at the end, you're probably disappointed with the number because every owner and seller in the world wants more, and that's normal and that's okay.
Mm.
And then, there's our fee as brokers, and then there's taxes, and it's just, you know, If you can accept the fact that it'll be disappointing, you'll have a much better experience.
Mm. Right, Mitch, we're on to our final 5 questions. What do you think is the hardest thing in growing a small business?
Learning how to say no.
Favorite business book which has helped you the most?
It's a tough one. It's a really, really tough one. You mentioned Built to Sell earlier, so that's in the front of my mind. It's honestly one of my favorite books. So,
It's a great book, yeah, well written, like a fable. Yeah. Any great podcasts or online learning tools you use for your own professional development?
oh my gosh, I've been on so many now that it's hard to even quantify them. Yeah, I mean, honestly, to say one right now would be a disservice to the rest of them. Just keep listening to them.
Yep.
Try new ones, all of them.
One tool you'd recommend to help grow a small business?
If you're not embracing artificial intelligence right now, you're gonna miss everything.
Final and my favorite question. What would you tell yourself on day 1 of starting out?
It's gonna be okay.
Thanks so much for your time today, Mitch. Really enjoyed our chat. A very storied career. Bought a yoga studio in New Jersey. 6 years later, sold it for 5 times what you and your wife paid for it. Now helping owners of boutique fitness businesses prepare their business for sale and sell it. Helped over 70 owners exit so far. Did around 10 million in exits last year. We'll do 20 million this year, bringing in around $500,000 US, soon to hit 1 million with a team of 4. Very impressive. Loved your journey. Congratulations to you and your wife and the team on the growth.
Thanks so much, Troy. Really grateful for the opportunity.
We're getting some great iTunes reviews. For those listening, please pop over to your podcast app and leave us a review.